What's going on, guys? I'm Jada Black. Shout out to everyone that's tuning in. I want to talk about Amber Rose. Now, Amber Rose is bringing her son into her world more and more, and apparently had a conversation with her about her OnlyFans and why she has an OnlyFans. See, this is the path of a lot of you Instagram influencers who are probably in your early to mid 20s. You think that you have a lot of value out here. You think you got options. You think you're always going to be the it girl, like a Lori Harvey, right? At some point, you're just going to be another washed up video vixen, ex-girlfriend of multiple rappers, right? Baby mama. You're going to end up just like this, like with Amber Rose, just another chick on OnlyFans making money. Now, I had kind of forgotten that Amber Rose had an OnlyFans, but the fact that all this that she done, this woman had a talk show, okay? At one point, a couple of years back. Y'all remember that? She was doing the slower walk. Now she's on OnlyFans. See, that's the path of a lot of you females if you're not careful, right? And that is where Amber Rose is. That's why Amber Rose is so bitter right now, right? That's why she's so bitter at the world, because of where she is right now. That's why she had the back and forth with Mook when they were on Drink Champs. She got in her feelings because I think she's starting to realize that she's washed up, and there's not a lot of these rappers that she wants to be with don't really want to be with her. They may like sleeping with her, but they're not gonna go out here and wife her up. That's how she ended up with AE, because she didn't have the options that she, used to have. And again, a lot of you women that think you're always going to have options. You think that because, you got a lot of followers and you have a nice body that it's always going to be like that. No, it's not always going to be like that. It's not. So you either going to learn from these types of situations with Amber Rose, or you're going to become Amber Rose. And what I mean by that, you might want to settle down a lot sooner than she did. And settle down with the right men. Because if you're out here chasing men that have no interest in being long-term husbands or even boyfriends, then you might want to find them, right? Now let's get into this Yahoo article. Amber Rose, a proud mother of 2 young feminists. In the latest episode of Emily's podcast, High Low with Murda, the mom of 2 sons, Sebastian, who's 9, with Wiz Khalifa, and /3 with Alexander Edwards, spoke about the importance of being transparent with her kids about her stripper past and having an OnlyFans account, and website where celebrities and influencers post racy content for a subscription fee. My sons are feminists, Rose 39 said. It just means equality. No, it doesn't. Your sons are going to grow up and get a rude awakening. There's nothing empowering about males being feminists, but that's what they want. They want men. That's why you have so many men being the very uncompatible with a lot of women these days, because a lot of these men have been feminized and so-called male feminists now, and they are becoming more and more incompatible with a lot of women of today because they're choosing the wrong men. And teaching your sons, and by the way, you got a 9-year-old and a 3-year-old. The 3-year-old doesn't even know what a feminist is. You're just putting that out here, Amber, because you are a broken woman, okay, who want to teach your sons to be the worst of men. Because what your sons got to understand is there is no privilege for them. When they become adults, they're going to be treated just like every other man is treated. No matter how feminist they are, they're going to have to deal with the same shit that we do. The men who aren't feminists, the men who speak out against feminists. Feminism, the early stages of feminism was about women having the opportunity to take care of themselves, vote, all those things, whatever. But it morphed into trying to degrade and destroy what society is. That's what it became. That's what feminism became. And now we see the fruits of that. Now you have men trying to be women and compete with other women. What are the feminists saying about this? They supported that. But now, because they realize it's starting to backfire, they're quiet. And only very few women are able to speak out. See, what feminism has done, it has allowed other agendas to hijack the feminist movement and use them to help destroy the fabrics of our society. But Amber Rose wouldn't know that because she's a bitter, broken woman who realizes that she no longer has the value she had 15 years ago. No, well, I'll say 10 years ago. Let's just say 10 years ago. I'm gonna be nice and say 10 years ago. The model and women's rights activist, which is funny because she slur shamed the women that AE cheated on her with, right? Anyway, added that if she doesn't instill these lessons from an early age, she worries her sons are going to learn from TikTok and Instagram, which could potentially lead to misinformation about women. No, your sons are going to, when your sons grow up, Amber, and they deal with you heifers, they're going to become red pilled. Rose recalls having a whole conversation about OnlyFans with Sebastian after a friend called out his mom for having an account during the pandemic. That conversation proved worth having later on. We were in the car and his friends were like, "Miss Amber, ask us what we like in girls." She said, I was like, "Okay, do you like blonde hair? Do you like dark hair?" And Sebastian's friend was like, "Well, I just don't want my girlfriend being on OnlyFans." You damn right. Listen, you damn right. No man wants to wife up a woman that is scripting and getting nude for random men on the internet. It don't matter if she's not sleeping with these men. Why do women have to resort to getting OnlyFans is beyond me. The work of feminists was to make it for women to make the environment, the working environment, a place where women can advance, could work at any job. All that work that feminists put in has pretty much been washed away because women like Amber Rose think that being feminist is about being sexual. That's when her son felt the need to defend his mom. Sebastian was like, "Bro, you can't say that, like you have to let a woman do what she wants with her body. Like, that's not cool. You can't do that," Rose said. A tear came down my cheek. I was like, "That's my effing baby." Like, I instilled that in him from birth. This is why it's very important for fathers to be in their son's life, because the world is going to be very harsh for Sebastian, no matter how much he tries to listen to his mother, because us as men, we have to deal with a lot of shit. It doesn't matter what political leanings you have, no matter how, much of a male feminist you are, you're going to have to grow up in a world that views men as disposable. And she needs to instill that in him instead of trying to teach her son that it's okay to date a woman who literally kissing her is like kissing a public water fountain. Let's see. When it comes to such topics, the former talk show host says she takes a holistic approach. So I let my kids curse and have free expression, be creative as long as they're not disrespectful or curse in school, which Sebastian never did. She said he knows the difference. I just explained everything to him. When it comes to women, you have to let a woman do what they need to do to support their family. She explained, you want to go to a nice school, Six Flags travel. Mom has to make money. He knows that. I was a scripper years ago. I feel like I desensitized it instead of him finding out when he is 20. Okay, well, let him date one of these heifers, and she cheats on him, and let's see if he's okay with that too. In fact, Rose who said she's done having kids, explained that she and her sons routinely have uncomfortable conversations with no limitations. You should not be having any type of conversations with no limitations with a 9-year-old and a 3-year-old. Even when it comes to the female anatomy. Anytime I use the bathroom since my son was 2 or 3 years old, he'd be like, "Mommy, do you need a tampon? Do you need a pad, Mom? I'll go in the drawer and get it for you," she explained. I've told him everything. In 2015, Rose organized the annual Los Angeles-based Slut Walk, a movement that originated in Canada, calling for an end of certain culture, victim blaming, and slur shaming by reclaiming the word slut. In a broader sense, the protests aim to address the patriarchal attempts to control a woman's body. Well, let me tell you this, ladies. If a man doesn't want to wife you up because you are a slur, you can't shame him for that. Because what I have seen is a lot of reverse shaming. A lot of you heifers will shame a man for not wanting to date you. How many times has a man gotten shamed for not wanting to date a fat, overweight woman? Gotta be political. Or date a woman who maybe is too skinny, or a woman who has tattoos, or a woman that's a brunette and not a blonde. When a man tells you his preferences, y'all hate it. Why is that? If you want to be a slur, go be a slur, all right? But you're not going to tell me that I shouldn't have a preference just because my preference isn't you. And that's what goes on. You could be as much of a slur as you want to be, Amber Rose, but you're not going to tell me or other men what type of, what physically we should want in a woman. Because that's what y'all do. Y'all shame men all the time for their preferences. I don't shame you for being a public water fountain. So you shouldn't shame me for what I choose to date, because it ain't you. Rose, who said that she was slur shamed by girls at an early age simply because she had a lot of male friends, and despite the fact that she was a virgin at the time, admitted to having different relationships with sex these days. I am self-proclaimed slur, and I don't have relations. I hate relations, she said. It's so accessible, and I don't want a member attached to a person. I just don't want to deal with any toxicity, and I feel nowadays everyone is toxic. No, you're toxic. You're teaching your children about female anatomy and about slur shaming. Amber, this is where you are. This is where you are, Amber. Indeed, the model has never backed down from voicing her thoughts about body positivity and why people should allow others to do what they want with their bodies. And back in July of 2022, she spoke with Yahoo Life about pushing back against sexist standards. As women, unfortunately, a lot of things are out of our hands, she said at the time. We can continue to protest. I think more women are jumping on board and not feeding into the patriarchy helps, but I don't think we'll ever just be who we want to be without being labeled. We cannot stop. We can't get discouraged at all. We have to keep fighting. What are you fighting for? To be sluts? Is that what you're fighting for? You could be as much of a slur all you want to, Amber. No one cares. But the problem that Amber and most of these other women have is that the men that they want desperately have standards, and they hate it. The men that they desperately want, have standards. You know, Amber has never been the same since Kanye West said he had to take 30 showers after he dumped her and got with Kim Kardashian. Now, Amber will tell you that she dumped Kanye, but yeah, whatever. That she never recovered from that. And that has always bothered her. That has always bothered her. You know, because a man that she was with that was considered high value at the time. I mean, he still is, but at the time, really considered high value. He upgraded her, thought that low of her. And I think that's what really spurred her to do what she is doing. I've embraced my body completely. She added, I'm a mother now. I have 2 children. I have 2 C-sections, and she had a breast reduction. So for me, I'm a woman, and this is my body, and this is changing over the years. And I just fully embrace all the beautiful flaws. Well, you should. Just keep your kids out of it. You heifers love putting your kids in things, and you wonder why your kids grew up messed up. It's because you messed them up. You know, you messed them up. And listen, if you are not having relations, good for you, Amber. Good for you. Do you want a slow clap? You know, you should have stopped doing that when you were having having these children by these guys that at the end of the day may not have wanted to be with you. You know, AE's moved on. He's dating a 76-year-old Cher. And that, I think that has really driven her over the edge as well. But again, you know, that's a you problem. You know, you can't sit here and try to be mad at the world because you don't have the options that you want. So let us know in the comment section, let me know your thoughts, like this video and share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll see y'all next.